Good morning, everyone. It's another week. It's another Monday. Here we go. What's going on, everyone? We have the national championship, and we have a lot of things to discuss. It's also Masters week. I don't know if we have a lot of golf fans in the mix, but it is also Masters week. We got a little golf, although it's kind of early to get into that conversation, but that's on the table. The Philadelphia Phillies with a beautiful sweep. That's definitely where I want to begin, if you know what tickles my fancy. It's definitely the Phillies pinstripes, and I can't wait to see them go up against deGrom. So what's happening, everyone? The chat is going nice and early here today on this Monday. Beautiful day outside. Beautiful day outside. I'm definitely going to find myself going for a nice walk. You know, one of those days where you just go around the block or you go somewhere. You know what I mean? One of those days, nice walk. You kind of walk around the park, whatever. Bring the dog outside. It's going to be those for sure. So what's happening, everyone? Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Kevin? What's going on? What's up, Zipple? What's up, Mikey? Michael? Jordan? How are you guys? How are you? What a weekend for the Philadelphia Phillies. I guess we have to cheers. Forget it. We have to cheers to the good old Philly. I got an Eagles mug, but Philadelphia Phillies for that weekend to put on that type of display for us. It was fantastic. Cheers to everyone. Let's take that first sip together. It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, Hitcher says, hey, Brodes, it's been a few years since I had watched baseball, and damn, that opening series was fun. Before tonight, can you tell me a little bit about Matt Moore? Never heard of him. So Matt Moore, now we're in the territory of your 4 and 5 pitcher. You got Matt Moore and Chase Anderson. The problem is the Mets didn't play due to COVID, so they are going with their number one guys. They didn't play at all, so they're going to have Jacob deGrom up. They're going to have Stroman up. That's going to be a little bit of an issue for this Philadelphia Phillies team, considering you're throwing out there Matt Moore. So Matt Moore is a guy that once had a little run in the league, and then he went to Japan, and then he had a good run in Japan. And now he's coming back for his first time out back in the back into the MLB. But we'll look up what he did previously before Japan, just to put it into a little bit of context. And holy hell, is this some like an old grandfather who can't see very well, because wow. In the MLB prior to going over to Japan, he had a 4.51 ERA. So he had some seasons of 3.81, 3.28, 2.7. This is back in 2014, though. 2015, 5 ERA. He's been flirting around that 5 ERA from 2015 through 2018 before he went to Japan. So he's one of those players that you're kind of taking a flyer on, more so than you really know what you're going to get. But you can utilize it. He's a lefty. That's big. You don't have that coming out of your starting rotation. So that's big there. The expectations aren't very high, though. Don't go out there and expect a Zach Eflin type performance. But here's what you can look at and say. The Braves and the Phillies offense have both been a little bit quiet starting the season. Since the Mets have not played, can you see a situation where they struggle offensively, which would allow Matt Moore to maybe get into a rhythm a little bit? Get into rhythm a little bit. By the way, do not forget that we have leading off with Brodes tonight. Because I know there were a lot of people asking me, hey, Brodes, I thought you were doing a baseball pregame show. I am. Monday through Friday. Not so much on the weekends. Monday through Friday, leading off with Brodes will occur. So 1 hour before the Phillies games begin, that would make it a 6 o'clock start tonight. We will get into the Phillies pregame show. So make sure you are there. It'll be live on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. So just throwing it out there. Make sure you are there. It feels good to not have a bullpen trending on Twitter for a change. Yeah, the bullpen has been strong this play. Hector Neris got a little wonky there in the ninth, and he did get some help. There's no denying that the umpire behind the dish was absolutely incredibly poor. That strikeout on Acuna, I'll take it any single day of the week. All right, I'll do jumping up and down. I'll jump up and down for that to happen because I like it because it recorded an out for the Phils. But, man, that could have got a lot worse. After recording a couple outs, he starts walking a few guys. But that's who Hector Neris is going to be. To expect him to be anything different at this point would just be naive, and then you just don't really properly know what he's all about. This is Hector Neris. He's going to have some ups. He's going to have some downs. He's going to walk some guys. The splitter might not be a pure perfection type of splitter every single night, but he got the job done. And the bullpen stepped up. Jose Alvarado stepped up. It's pretty crazy. Instead of bullpen trending, it's Ben Simmons trending. Yeah, Ben Simmons has flat out sucked. And there's a way to be a supporter of Ben Simmons, and there's a way to also realize that he has sucked. Both can be true. You can understand his ceiling, and you can understand that he's been absolutely pathetic for a long period of time this season. Other than about 2 weeks, Ben Simmons has sucked. And both can be true. You can like Ben Simmons. You can root for Ben Simmons. You can understand that Ben Simmons' ceiling is phenomenal. And you can also admit that Ben Simmons has sucked. He has sucked. He truly has. Sucked. And it's pathetic. Harper ain't doing nothing against deGrom. He was throwing 101, 102 fastballs this spring. 1 run over 17 innings. I got Mets by 4 or 5 runs tonight. I mean, every team, for the most part, gets destroyed by deGrom. So, yeah, maybe Harper does have a bad day against deGrom. You know who else has a bad day against deGrom? Everybody. So, yeah, this game is set up for the Mets to win this one. That's the way the cookies lied here. That's the way the cookies crumble, I guess. That's the way your cards lie. Did I just confuse both of those and put them together? Yes, I did. But, yeah, I mean, if you're like I don't know if you're a Mets fan, Angel, or not, but if you look at this game on paper prior to the game starting, like, congratulations if you really believe that Bryce Harper is going to get shut down. Yeah, I mean, 99.9% of MLB players are going to get annihilated by Jacob deGrom. That's what Jacob deGrom does. I'm a DC sports fan, but I love watching your channel. I'm always here. Go football team. Go Nats. Oh, geez. Go Nationals. Yeah, I'm excited to see the Mets, to see the Nats. I'm excited just to get, now that I got a taste of the Braves, I'm kind of excited to see, this whole entire division kind of pop. You know what I mean? If the Mets don't win, there's a problem. Yeah, to an extent. Here's one thing I need to see out of the Phillies, though. Don't give up this good momentum. And you can lose the series 1-2 and be 4-2 in your first 2 series. And in theory, I'll be satisfied. Of course, it depends on how it all plays out. And there needs to be context involved. And it can't just be a blow up and a full on, internal breakdown and whatnot. So, yeah, and I hate to go into a series saying, well, if they go 1-2 against a division opponent, I'll be happy. But you just got to understand how it sets up. My big thing is you can't give up any flow that you had, right? Like, if you can't get swept, you can't allow the Mets to start off the season 3-0. If you start out 3-0, then you're 3-3 after the first series. That is unacceptable to me. And I hate to sit here and say I'd accept 1-2, but 4-2 after a sweep, you can live with it. But you can't give up this nice momentum that you started the season with. What's your coffee choice? I was going to go Timmy Hortons, but I realized since it's Monday and we're coming off of a Phillies sweep, to stick in the Philadelphia area with a little bit of the Wawa has to kind of be the direction we went with. So, yes, I went Wawa hazelnut. Nick wants to know if I think the Phillies have a chance to go to the postseason with this bullpen. I don't know. It's 3 games into the season. I really have no idea what this bullpen is going to be long term. What happens if you get a couple injuries? What if a couple guys go down? There's so much that can happen in 162 that I don't know what they are. I don't know who they're going to be. And I know that they have obviously put together some really good stretches to this point. I want to go to Bob Wankel from Crossing Broad. And I had him on my show yesterday on The Fanatic. He does a fantastic job covering the Phillies. And he put up a couple bullpen stats. And I thought they were pretty crazy, honestly. So the Phillies bullpen has started the season by recording 22 consecutive outs without allowing a run. Last season, the longest stretch it went without allowing a run, you guessed it, 22 outs. They did it one time, August 28th to August 29th. That's it. They matched last year. It's crazy. But in general, when you look at this team, like, oh, can they make the playoffs? Can they do this? Can they do that? That's too far down the road for such a long season. Just enjoy the sweep. Just enjoy it, right? There's no reason to sit here today after winning that Braves series and go, you know what? But can they really win the championship? Like, let's enjoy the series win. Let's enjoy beating up on the Braves. Let's enjoy knocking the ball out of the ballpark if your name's Andrew Knapp. Let's look at the defense by Didi Gregorius. It's just a good feeling on a Monday to see that and to have that type of flow and energy surrounding this team right now. Oh, geez, I really didn't want to do this yet. But expectations for the Flyers tonight. Realistically, my expectations are they're going to lose. But this is going to tell me a lot because everybody's in full understanding of what this means. If you're in that locker room, you heard the guys say it, you heard the guys talk about it, going up against the Boston Bruins, knowing how many, I think they play them 3 times this week, 2 times this week, and then one on the weekend because there's an Islanders game thrown in there as well. But, I mean, just talk about a monstrous week. This is your week. This is your week to make a fucking statement. You got the Bruins. Wait, damn, it's a back-to-back against the Bruins. I thought they had one day in between. Nope, it is a straight-up back-to-back, apparently. You got Bruins, Islanders, Bruins. That is your stretch here of the next 4 games. I expect them to lose, obviously. They've been a disaster all year, but it will tell me a lot. It will tell me if they have that fight. It'll tell me if not. My girlfriend is a Bruins fan, and it's been brutal all year. Well, Kevin, to be fair, all right, the Bruins, they did fall off a bit. Now, they're still in a way better position than the Flyers probably ever will be this season. But, I mean, to make it seem like the Boston Bruins are playing as good as maybe some of the top teams in the league, you know, they're in that 4th place spot right now, and they have less games played than the Flyers and all, but you know, they have some struggles. They have some holes. They're not the perfect team in the world. But yes, if she's going to make fun of you because we're Flyers fans and all, then yes, Kevin, I could see that being a tough day at the office. You know, a tough time at home. You walk in, like, oh, hey, hon, how was your day? The Flyers fucking blow, by the way, babe. Oh, we're going to have chicken for dinner. You're sitting around, how was your day today at work? Oh, well, you know, I made a call to Nancy and the Flyers fucking blow. And then I talked to Susie about that Excel spreadsheet. And oh, by the way, Chuck Fletcher sucks. You know, if you got to go through that every day, well, then, yeah, I can see that being a problem. Mets, by the way, are an opening day. Okay, so Angel is clearly a Mets fan of some degree that really wants to put it in perspective that the Mets are going to win this game. I think every Phillies fan understands the situation tonight. But Angel says the Mets are an opening day juggernaut, 39-20 on opening day. I don't even know if these stats are true. He could just be throwing stuff out there at me. But here's what I know. I think everyone can see that the money line, and I'll check my DraftKings Sportsbook just to show you why this isn't shocking this isn't shocking that the Mets are in a position to win this baseball game. This is how baseball works when one team has an advantage on the bump. All right, so just to put it in perspective, let's go to my DraftKings Sportsbook, and you can utilize the DraftKings Sportsbook app and download it now using promo code Brodes for all phenomenal odds and promotion boosts. So make sure you do that now and get in on some of this action here. The Mets are minus 230 tonight. All right, when the Mets are minus 230, it's telling you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know. The Mets have a good opportunity of winning. It's not that crazy to say. All right, we know that. So stop it. We know that. Here you go. This is Brendan Williams comes in. Who do you think, or who do you have, Gonzaga or Baylor tonight? I was going to say, who do you think wins tonight? I don't know why I do that. It's clearly not what is being written on the comment, but it's the question I know they're trying to ask, so I say it in a different way anyway. Yeah, so with that game tonight, man, that Gonzaga escape. There's something that scares me about that emotional ride that Gonzaga went on, and you have to kind of calm yourself back down. There needs to be this mode where you regroup. Now, if there's any team that I think could handle that emotional ride, it's the team that hasn't lost a damn basketball game, and that would be Gonzaga. And it's so hard to root against Gonzaga. So I'm going to say them, but man, this is the matchup that we've all been waiting for. Baylor, stud team. Baylor can absolutely beat Gonzaga, and there's a little bit inside of me that says Baylor is going to win because of how emotional that buzzer beater was for Gonzaga, but I just can't root against Gonzaga. Not root, but I just can't put my money against Gonzaga, even though I know Baylor can do it. But Gonzaga's Gonzaga, you know? But there is this factor of how much of an emotional turn that game really put you on. It's hard to come back down from that. You can say, oh, well, it's a couple days later. You had a couple days rest on it. No. When you're at that type of emotional ride, you don't sleep at night. You're up till 7 a.m. staring at the damn ceiling. You probably watch the extended highlights all night long. Like, it's so hard to get away from that. So there's something that tells me Baylor, but I'm in that mode that says I can't bet against Gonzaga. And I know Baylor's an unbelievable team, but it's going to be super fun. Baylor's defense will wear them out. I mean, Baylor can ball, man. Baylor can go toe-to-toe with Gonzaga. There's no denying that. But it's going to be a really fun game. I'm really looking forward to it. And as much as UCLA had a little bit of a run there, and maybe they could have won that game, I didn't want them to. I wanted Gonzaga-Baylor in the championship. To want it to be UCA-Baylor, as much as UCLA deserves a lot of credit and their coaching staff, their head coach, phenomenal job with what he's done and the way they balled, I wanted to have the best in it. Like, that's where when you have that discussion about, is it good to have upsets and this and that? It's fine to have upsets, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to the national championship, while, yes, UCLA would have deserved it because they carved out a path where they played some fantastic basketball and got themselves in position, I want to see Gonzaga and Baylor match up tonight around 9:15, 9:30, whenever the hell that tip is. That's what I want to see. A lot of questions coming in about the game tonight. Do you think the Phillies lose tonight versus deGrom? Probably. It's just set up that way. I love the Phillies. Nope, that's not what that says. See, why do I do that? I love my mommy is the name of the YouTube account. The Phillies sweep the Braves. I'm so happy. Are you happy? Because the Phillies are 3-0. We need to go to the playoffs. If we do, I'm having a party, and we need to win the World Series. I hope we play the Dodgers. All right, there's too much there for me. That's all over the place. Oh, wow, we got a lot of people really looking on the really looking into this Phillies Mets game. That's beautiful. Like, that's what the Phillies did for us this week. If they went 1-2, there probably would still be discussion all around the city, of course. But if they went 0-3, if they were the team that gets swept, could you imagine how the difference in conversation about this matchup against deGrom would have been? So it kind of is similar to what happened last year with the Flyers. I love the fact that the city was just on the ride, and the city of Philadelphia was just rocking with the Flyers, and they were on a nice journey and all that. That's the beautiful side of things. With the Phillies, it's so early, of course, but just the excitement of everybody, like, hey, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen next? How's it going to play out? Like, there is this sense of urgency about this Phillies game tonight that tickles my fancy. Braves wants to know, what team are you having on the big screen tonight? Well, the Flyers play and the Phillies play both at 7. I will have the Phillies on the big screen. I'll have the Flyers off on the top right. And then I'll have probably, until the national championship game begins, I'll have either a secondary baseball game on MLB TV, or I will have a secondary hockey game on my NHL Game Center. So it will be one of those two until the national championship. And then it would get very situational. If it's a 6-run baseball game, then maybe I switch one of the Phillies game. I'll switch the Phillies game over to the national championship. If the Phillies are in, 2 guys on, 1 out, 2-2 game, 7th inning, whatever, it's super close Phillies baseball, I'll probably keep Phillies baseball on the big screen until whatever happens, and then Gonzaga and Baylor will be off to the secondary team. But it's the national championship game for basketball. So at some point, that's definitely making its way on the big screen. The thing is with me, I can stay close with all these games. Like, it doesn't matter if the Flyers are on the third TV, if the Phillies are on the second TV, what's on the big TV. I got this eye. It's like I got the volumes perfectly set where if something was to happen, like my eye, I got it all going. It's not like they're on mute and then you just forget about what's going on the other TVs. I got this down to a science, all right? This is no joke. I got it down scientifically. I got a text there that I had to respond to. How does my bracket look? Not good. Although Gonzaga making it all the way, I did have going. No, Michigan. No. Yep, if I remember. Yep, Michigan. I did a couple of different ones and all, but the one that I focused on the most, I went down with the Michigan crowd, and unfortunately, it backfired for sure. What's going on, RJ? What's happening, man? Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate that. Grizzlies fan here. In both games we played, why do you think Ben Simmons has been uninterested? Because he does this all the time. Because this is who he is. This is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is uninterested to play games. He doesn't feel like going downhill. Ben Simmons has sucked. And I hate that there has to be this middle ground, right? There has to be this middle of, well, if you like him, you can't criticize him. And if you hate him, you have to be a guy that destroys him and annihilates him. No. When he balls, and I hate to even use the word ball because he hasn't been balling, but when he goes out there on the court and he gives you this type of lackadaisical effort, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's an embarrassment to the sport. It is absolutely putrid to see him go out there and compete the way that he did. Now, I can be a Ben Simmons supporter and still absolutely destroy him when he gives you this 85% of the season. It's a problem if you accept it. It's a problem if you go, well, hey, but Ben does that. No! Why do you accept this? In what world would you accept this if this was Joel Embiid? Would you accept this if it was Tobias Harris? Nope. You sure didn't last year. You wanted Tobias Harris out of town within a second. You were ready to kick him out and drive him to the airport. Why? Because you said it was unacceptable what he was providing because it wasn't good enough. And it wasn't good enough. Ben Simmons, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And to accept it is an embarrassment. An embarrassment. Well, Ethan says here, Ben, 6'10", pass first, Simmons. It's fine to pass first. There's nothing wrong with passing first. But without Joel Embiid on the floor, for Ben Simmons to just have zero interest in playing offense at all and zero interest in going downhill and zero interest at all with that mentality. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? You have a 6'5" player on you. What are you doing? Right? Like, what are you doing? I don't get it. I don't get it. We will never see an athlete again, ever, in the history of sports like Ben Simmons in this city. I guarantee it. One of a kind. And he's going to put us all into a mental jacket. In a straight jacket. He's putting us in a mental institute because he's making us all go crazy. He's messing with our brain. The cells aren't doing what they're supposed to do. It's absolutely wild. Yeah, try and calm me down a little bit, Jake. Please. Where are the people who said that Wheeler was too much money? Dude's a stud. Yeah, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of that when Zach Wheeler got signed. And to be honest with you, while I know he's good and I knew that he was going to help this lineup or this rotation, I should say, and he was definitely going to bring some professionalism to this team, I didn't think he was going to give you what he did last night or 2 nights ago. I didn't think he was going to be like a consistent 10 strikeouts, 7. Like, he has been definitely I'm not going to say a pleasant surprise. I supported it. I never hated it. There were a lot of people that did. You truly needed help. You got out and went and got a real professional pitcher. But I'll tell you what, like, for example, and the injuries played a role. But if you look at what happened to him with the New York Mets, He gave you a 3.42 ERA, a 3.54 ERA back in 13 and 14. Then there was a break. 2017, a 5 ERA. 2018, a 3.31. 2019, a 4 ERA. He gave you 2.92 last season. All right. So now he's going in that 2 range. He's giving you a sub 3. He's giving you that 2 range. He wasn't that in New York. He was good, though, in New York. If he gives you a 3 or so, today's era of baseball, he was fine in New York, a 3.31. You would like more than a 3.96, but he was in that range of the 3. He went sub 3 on it. He gave you a 2.92. That's what he gave you in Philadelphia. He has been and even a notch higher than what I expected him to be, and you're going to need that, man. You're absolutely going to need that. Roman Quinn sucks. Yes, he does. He had a chance with Andrew Knapp on the bump yesterday. Sometimes there's so many games, and I reference game 1 compared to game 3, and I want to make sure it's clear on which game exactly. But Andrew Knapp had a hustle single, gets over to third base on an error pickoff play, and here he is up the bat, knocking a run. And what do you know? Roman Quinn looks insanely overwhelmed. Roman Quinn looks crazily dumb in the box. It's just what you're going to get, man. It's crazy. To say Haseley stinks is unfair. I'd say he's had like 2 really, really, really ugly at-bats. But he did tweak something. And like, if you're going to give Adam Haseley a chance, you got to give him more than 2 games to prove himself. So to go like, hey, it's time to give up on Adam Haseley. He played 2 games. And he did make some contacts at a beautiful stroke, lefty. And that's their concern. Can he play against lefties? Is he going to be able to produce against lefties? To this point, he has given me enough against lefties where if you're going to rock with Haseley, give him that chance. In the first game, he had a nice rip against a lefty. He made some nice contact, squared the ball up pretty well. With that being said, there were 2 overwhelmed at-bats that he had, but he's your 8 hitter. If he's your 8 hitter, you're not going to, unless you get Michael Franco back from 2 years ago, and I'm joking, but you're not going to have an elite 8-hole hitter. But the Haseley thing, though, he played 2 games. It's not time to rule Adam Haseley one way or the other. Zach Wheeler is a better hitter than Roman Quinn. Well, I mean, it's hard to argue with him up there just swinging the stick the way that he did. 2 hits, 2 RBIs, going the other way with it, too. I love that. Here's a pitch along the outside. What can you do with it? Drive it. Drive it down the third base side, man. Just let it happen. He poked it down the line. It was beautiful. It really was. Giroux comes in with a $2 donation. Flyers must win the next 4 games in regulation. Well, if that's what you demand out of them, Giroux, I feel real sorry for you because I bet your ass it's going to be underwhelming if that's what you need to get out of them. And you're not wrong, though. You are right with that assessment. They do need to beat the Bruins. And let's take it 1 game at a time. And this week's going to be crucial. 3 against the Bruins, 2 of those being on a back-to-back. You also have the Islanders thrown in there, a very tough team, very well-coached team. You need to, specifically against the Bruins, against the Islanders and all, like, I don't care if you get 2 points against the Islanders and they get 1. But against the Bruins specifically, most importantly, it has to be done in regulation where you can't allow them to get any points. You are battling with them. They have games in hand. You got to make sure you kind of creep in if you are going to be a team. And at this point, I don't think any of us are really thinking they are going to be a team that, quote, finds a way to make the playoffs. But if they are going to be that team, which they believe they are, which is the feeling I want them to have, I don't want them to think they're going to fail miserably. They're going to have to prove it to us this stretch. This is the big stretch. This is the ultimate ride. This is going to tell you everything you need to know. If they lose 3 of these games against the Bruins and they get no points out of it, well, then at that point, it's time to just hang up the skates for the season, right? Especially if they're losses where it's not competitive. It's 6-1, it's 5-1, it's 4-1, it's 7-1, it's 9-0. And the fact that I could say 9-0 and it could legitimately be a serious scenario and it's not so much, a joke, it's painful. It's painful. Thank you so much for the $2, man. I appreciate it. Michael says, Brodes, do you think Harper will hit his first homer tonight? Maybe not tonight. Not off someone like Jacob deGrom. I got one little piece of hair sticking up back here with my bun. Do you see that? Or is that my actual bun? Oh, yeah, that's the top of the bun. That's what that is. Got a little, that's it's the old wake up, have a cup of coffee at 9 a.m. And then, the routine is, for the most part, wake up, coffee with Brodes, roll out of bed, 8:45, do coffee with Brodes, do my thing for the morning, then I shower afterwards. So that's why, you get the little crazy hairdo, you know what I'm saying? That's my routine. But I'm definitely going for a nice long walk today around the local park or something. Put the AirPods in, listen to some music, appreciate the nice day out there. So if I know it's going to be hot and I work up a sweat, I gotta plan it out and all. But yeah, I don't know why I just told you how I start my mornings, but that's how I start my mornings. I started with you. I have my cup of coffee, then I shower for the day afterwards, and then I kind of attack the day after that. But without coffee with Brodes, without my coffee, the day doesn't begin. To answer your question, Michael, no, I don't think he's going to hit the home run though. Got a little sidetrack there. If Roman would just make contact, he'd probably beat out 75% of the throws. You're not wrong there. I mean, he's just a threat. If it's a standard ground ball to third base, you feel a little bit more rush. Maybe you work through the mechanics differently. And who knows, maybe there could be an error throw just because of the threat of Roman Quinn's speed and what he's able to do, how he's able to kind of just fly through first base. It allows people to maybe force them to go through their mechanics quicker. And then the ball goes a little bit left, or it goes a little bit right, or there has to be a scoop in play, and he beats it out. But unfortunately, he cannot make contact 75% of the time, and that's the problem. He's swinging through pitches. There's nothing uglier than Roman Quinn swinging through a pitch so miserably and then watching him walk back to the dugout, shaking his head in disgust. What do you think was going to happen, Roman? Let me ask you a serious question. How did you feel in that box? Did you honestly believe that you were going to actually hit the baseball? Did you think that there was actually going to be a chance where you made contact with the baseball? Because I'll tell you for free that 99% of this fan base didn't think that there was a chance in hell. Just throwing it out there. Andrew has an interesting question here. Is it an overreaction to say that there's a possibility that Ben Simmons won't be here next season? And the answer to that is no, it's not an overreaction. Daryl Morey is not afraid. And I think that what you saw him in the conversations with James Harden. I don't know how serious anything with Bradley Beal was, but it doesn't matter. There is a line where Daryl Morey sees Ben Simmons being in play for a trade. I almost look at this as not a tryout year, but it's a year for Daryl Morey to really assess what he has, to see the situation, to see the flaws, to see what type of improvements he's going to need for next year. Now, Doc Rivers has a big hand in this. If Doc Rivers wants Ben Simmons and maybe he doesn't want to trade him, not that Doc Rivers has the final say, he doesn't have the final say. But the way that Daryl Morey operates, it seems, with Doc Rivers is it's a package deal. They want to talk. They want to communicate. They want to be on the same page. It's not like Doc Rivers really wants this. And if Doc Rivers would be really upset with Ben Simmons being gone, I don't think Daryl Morey will be like, screw you, I'm doing it anyway. There seems to be a respect factor. Daryl Morey really wants to work with Doc Rivers, and that was always established right from the beginning. We finally were able to do this. It's just something we were looking forward to doing for quite some time. When I saw that Doc Rivers got hired by Philadelphia, here's a chance to pounce on that to see if we can maybe get that dynamic going. So my point is, I think Doc Rivers is going to have an influence in the decision on whatever the Ben Simmons drama is. But with what you've seen, with what possibly can be the downfall this season what the downfall of this team could be this season, if Ben Simmons is that major issue once again in the half-court set, which we've already seen it 100 times this season with slow-down possessions, that he is going to be a problem to a level. It always goes back to the one question I keep asking. Is Joel Embiid that much of a superstar this year? And is Tobias Harris that perfect fit next to Joel Embiid, where it comes down to it won't show as much? It won't be as much of a problem because you're just going to give the ball to Joel and you're going to say, make a play for me, damn it. Go score. Face up. Do your post work. Get to where you need to on the floor. Establish yourself, Joel. and you win because Joel's Joel, and Ben Simmons is just a guy that hangs out in the dunker spot, and it's not as recognized because now you have Joel Embiid being the lethal star that you anticipate him being. But if that isn't the case, and Ben's problems do cause this team to fail, and he does cause this team to really struggle terribly in the postseason, I think the Ben Simmons being traded possibility, the thing is, it's not going to be for a bunch of slop. It's not going to be for Zach LaVine. It's not going to be for a player like that. It's going to be for a James Harden, a Bradley Beal. James Harden already got moved, so you ain't getting him. My point is, it's going to have to come down to a star like James Harden. So if there's none of that opportunities available for Daryl Morey, he's not just going to get rid of Ben Simmons just to get rid of Ben Simmons because he's frustrated with him like we are as fans. So it's going to have to be something for a legitimate superstar. And unless that's available, then I don't think it's just going to happen. Shohei Ohtani was electric last night, but he might be better as a reliever. His stuff is a little wild, but he's got good stuff. You're talking about Shohei Ohtani. He got hurt last night with that crazy play, no? Brodes, do you golf? I do golf. It's been a little bit of time since I was able to swing the sticks and get out there and hit the links, but yeah, I do golf, and I'll say this. My score doesn't necessarily reflect my play. And what I mean by that is I'm a high 90s guy. There's no denying that. But I'm not all over the place. Like, there's guys who golf 99, 100, 102, like guys who golf like that, and they're over here, they're over there, they're dropping balls, they're losing balls, they're in the woods, they're using their foot wedge, right, kicking it out a little bit. I'm not that way. First off, I have no power, but I am soft and in the middle of the green, or in the middle of the fairway. So I get no power out of my irons. The fact that my 5, 6, 7 iron, I really don't get difference out of it. It blows my mind because I'm so focused on hit it straight, and not so much the twerk in my body to really, if I focus more on power and strength, that's when I start slicing, that's when I start hooking, and my shots go all over the place. So I tell myself, all right, who cares about power? Just keep it playable. So when I do that, I get on the green for bogey. So it's like I'm soft, I'm hitting it with my purse, if you will, but I'm just getting through the fairway, chipping myself along, and I'll get on the green for a bogey putt, which is fine. If I'm playing bogey golf, I'm having a phenomenal day at the office. Here's where a 5 on a par 4 turns into an 8 because I'll triple putt. So it's like I'm playable. I'm a fun time. I enjoy the game. I'm focused on the craft and all that. But I'm on there for bogey, and I'm pumped, and here I am. And so my 5 turns into an 8, and it makes my score look significantly worse than what it really is. If you're playing bogey golf, I mean, you're having a hell of a day, but that's where it is for me. So I don't think my score, because if I told you I'm like 97, 98, like I'm that category in terms of score, you would think I'm all over the place. No, I'm not all over the place. I just can't fucking putt to save my life. I can't putt to save my life. I am a terrible, terrible putter. But I haven't been golfing once yet. I didn't go, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go all last summer. So, I mean, it's been a little bit of time since I've been able to go out on the links. But once I do, it's the same thing all the time. Once I go once, I end up going, like there's a stretch. I'll go once, and then within 3 days, I'm back at it. And then within 2 days, I'm back at it. So once I get out there one time, you smell the grass, you got your 6-pack of Miller, whatever, you know what I mean? You buy your bucket, your bucket of Millers, whatever you want to do out there that day. But I'm also not the guy that like gets obliterated while going out and playing golf. I like having cold ones, maybe smoke a little, how do you do, whatever. But I don't like the old shit-faced golf. You got to get that good mix up. You know, bring a 6-pack. Enjoy the 6-pack of Miller, how do you do, whatever, and then you go play. But I'm not a big, I'm not a big, like, bring the 30 and you shotgun a beer. There's days for that, but that's an outlier where you shotgun a beer every hole, and then by hole 12, you're out there stumbling. And maybe that's when the ball starts going the other way. You know what I'm saying? I'm teeing off, and I'm going the opposite way. The fairway's this way, and I'm teeing off, and I'm going that way. I'm going into someone else's fairway. No, I've never done that. All right, what do we got here? Work at a golf course, hit me up, dude. Whoa, what golf? All right, well, yeah. Where you at? What golf course we talking? What golf course we talking? Mini golf is better than actual golf? I disagree, Aiden. I disagree completely. We have the Masters. We have the Masters this week. Nothing better, my friend. Oh, Christian, I didn't. So, because it was Easter, right now we're kind of in this period with open ice hits where we're just analyzing what's the best way to kind of do this. So, we're tweaking some things with open ice hits. I did see your question. We're going to drop the next episode on Thursday. So, just because of the holiday, and I was on 97.5 The Fanatic yesterday, and there were the Sixers and the Phillies to react to. It was just a little overwhelming with some stuff. So, we are going to drop the next open ice hits on Thursday. I did see your comment asking about the NHL pod that I do. It'll be dropped then. Thoughts on Dubinsky's comments on Sid and Ovechkin? Yeah, he's a moron. I mean, it's probably the most moronic statement ever to rip apart Sidney Crosby the way Dubinsky has. And if you haven't seen the comments, I mean, he's just doing silly. He's even putting Instagram pictures up about him cross-checking Crosby to the ground and said, is it something I said? He pretty much said, fuck Sidney Crosby. If I could choose between him and Ovechkin, it's Ovechkin every single day of the week. It's so hard to score goals in this league. Look at what Ovechkin has done. You know what else is hard to do? Dubinsky, you know what else is hard to do? Win 3 Stanley Cups. You ever think that that's difficult to do? Damn it. How about you check it out yourself, right? 3 Stanley Cup. You think that that's hard to do as a captain of a franchise? You ever put that in perspective? What are you, so fascinated with just the goal scoring side of it? Yeah, Ovechkin's one of the best goal scorers ever. You can make the argument that he is the best goal scorer ever. But to act as if I'd take Ovechkin over Crosby any day of the week, you're an absolute jerk-off. It's like you're just trying to keep yourself relevant is what it is. You're trying to keep your name in there because you haven't been in the show in a couple of years. But guess what, Brandon Dubinsky? No one gives a damn about you anymore. But there's that. There's that. Am I hyped for the Olympics at all? Not really. The Olympics are one of those things where I don't get like, woo! Here we go, baby. Here we go. The Olympics. But when they're on, I love them. When they're on, I appreciate them. But I don't have it written down on my calendar. Hey, the Olympics are on. I can't wait for this and that. Like when hockey's in there and when you get like back in the day, Crosby with the overtime game winner. I love hockey in the Olympics, but that's me being a hockey fan. Pure perspective on the Olympics in general. Like I'm not sitting there waiting for Michael Phelps, right? Like I would watch it, but I'm not like if I missed it, I'm not gonna cry. That's for damn sure. I'm not setting my alarm for it. So that's kind of where I'm at. You're an 11 handicap? Jesus Christ. I don't know if I believe you. Shame on me. Look, I'm not going to get... If you are, congrats, but it's the internet. If someone tells me they're 11 handicap, I'm going to need a little bit of some proof. That's all. I know how the internet works. I know how the internet operates. That's all. Did you see the guy on Instagram saying Karl Anthony Towns is Embiid's dad? No, what guy? What guy is that? Is it like a real person or is it just one of those stupid accounts? Because, Did anyone see Paul Pierce, though? Paul Pierce, my God, what a legend. Are you kidding me? And then he even tweeted the other day, good morning, afterwards. Are you kidding me? Let's see if he tweeted anything else since. That Paul Pierce thing, I applaud you, Paul Pierce. I mean, talk about a party. My God. Earthquake? He tweeted about an earthquake. What a shock, Gonzaga. Good morning. All he tweeted was good morning. That was the last time. Man, I'll tell you what. Watching Paul Pierce's story. I wish I got the invite, Paul. Hey, Paul. I can't get the invite. Paul, by the way, Paul Pierce is a loser. Like he is just a flat-out loser. He's one of the worst analysts out there. He's terrible. He's bad. But they keep throwing him out there on the jump and whatnot. I think he's one of the worst ESPN has ever hired. And I give people like the benefit of the doubt, and I understand why people get hired. Like I get it. All right, I understand how that business works from hiring people on ESPN. They're big names. They're big personalities. They played in the league, this and that. But Paul Pierce stinks at his job. He really does. And, man, what he was doing on Instagram Live the other day, just a little disappointed I didn't get it. Brodes, hey, come on over, 4 o'clock. We're going to get the women over. That's all I'm saying. Come on, Paul. Of course, I'm just joking around, but damn. I wonder what ESPN is going to know. I'm surprised you're not going to get shocked you're not friends with Paul Pierce. What's that supposed to mean? I'm shocked you didn't get a little message from ESPN or something. Remember when Woj put out that email and said, fuck you? He emailed that person and said, fuck you. And he got suspended for a little bit of time entering the bubble. I would imagine having whores over your house in that type of fashion like Paul Pierce did would kind of get you in some trouble as well. So I haven't heard anything. I don't know if anyone's seen anything, but putting up whores and throwing things at them while they're twerking on the ground, I would imagine that'll get you in some trouble. So funny, though. So funny. Like, dude, you were an NBA player, right? You know how social media works. You've been doing that for years. There's no way that that's a one-time occasion. That's what Paul Pierce does on his own time. And you're okay. You're allowed to do that, Paul. If that's what you're into, you can have hookers and whores at your place. But don't you know not to go on Instagram Live? Just enjoy it to enjoy it. You don't need to go out there and actually put it out there on display for 300 people. It's not even like 1 million people were involved on that Instagram story. You're going to get yourself in trouble for 300 people. 300 people? That's worth it to you? Come on, Paul Pierce. You didn't know the story, Pags? It's pretty damn funny, man. If you search Paul Pierce on Twitter, all the videos pop up. People snagged what he did on Instagram. It's so funny. Any news on George Hill? No update on George Hill. The last thing I heard was of the remaining games, they're kind of expecting 10 to be the amount of games he plays as they enter the postseason. So that's kind of where they're looking at. We got a phone call here. It's probably going to be one of these calls that tell me that my Mazda needs what do they call that? They need to get checked out. Let's see. Hello?
Hi, my name is Tom with the Auto Warranty Center. We are giving you a call today to let you know the factory warranty on your vehicle is expiring soon. If we don't hear from you today, we will assume you do not want to cover your vehicle and the warranty will be voided.
The good old, you need to make sure you get your car checked out. Now, I get 10 of those a day. Oh, your warranty, or there's a recall on your car. Make sure you get checked. Am I the only one that gets this all the damn time? Oh, the damn time. Oh, you got to check it out. They're calling in these cars. Shut up. Lee, the Mazda 3 is fine. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut up. Every day. Shut up. Non-stop, man. What's more likely to happen? The Flyers win tonight or Ben Simmons going 20-10-8 tomorrow? There's no doubt it's the Flyers. The Flyers winning tonight gives you a better percentage for sure. For sure. Yeah, to expect after what Ben Simmons has given us to this point this season, it's crazy. It's crazy. I get 5 of those a day. I don't have a car. That's funny. So I did get this message yesterday from someone. So a long time ago, I'm going to find exactly this tweet. Here it is. So March 3rd, I got a phone call from someone on the Anytime hotline that said, I don't see the hype in Ben Simmons. And this was after a good Ben Simmons game. And I stopped the call midway and said, what? What is this caller talking about? I don't see the hype in Ben Simmons. I don't see anything about Ben Simmons that gets people excited. And then this person commented again and said, I just want to follow up. So this individual went back to March 3rd on that video. It was probably him who called in just to follow up. Where is this out of Ben Simmons? He's still 16-8-8 and subpar. So I'm going back to this. And and this is where the disconnect is there. To say I don't see anything in Ben Simmons. I don't see why people are excited about Ben. I don't see why anyone is excited about Ben. I don't see Ben's skill set. Like, that's where you cross the line. How do you not see it? How do you not see it's there? The reason why he makes us blow our brains out is because he has it and doesn't do it enough. It's there, and what he has is rare. You don't find that in many players. His skill set is rare. Not anyone can do it. So the fact that he has the ability to do it and doesn't do it is why it stresses us out so much. To say, I don't get the hype about Ben. I don't get his shield. What do you mean you don't get it? How do you not see it? How do you not see it? That's two different conversations. Not seeing it, not knowing what's there, and then where we are, which we recognize it, we know what he can be, and he's not applying it enough. Those are two different conversations, right? Don't you see that? Isn't that obvious? You can separate the two. I don't get the hype. Well, I don't get why people feel the way that they do. How do you not get it? How do you not get it? People defend Ben the way they do because he dropped 42, 12, and 9 without a three-point shot. I'm confused. Without a three-point shot on the supposed Defensive Player of the Year. Another factor is what he did to Luka Doncic this season. I'm a little confused on what you're saying. There you can defend him. I'm just a little confused there. See, this is where I cross the line. The only thing Simmons cares about is Call of Duty. That's a lazy one. I hear that all the time. Oh, he only cares about video games. So if Ben Simmons, instead of Call of Duty, if he worked on it, to say Ben Simmons doesn't work on anything, yes, he does. It's just the mentality of doing it. He has worked on the three-point shooting. He has gotten better at three-point shooting. He has gotten better at free throws. To say he doesn't work on his game at all is unfair. The mentality isn't there to do it in a game, but that's the frustrating part. He does put in the work. He does work on the three-point shooting. His three-point shooting is significantly better now than when it was 4 years ago. He does work on this stuff. But then it's not happening in a game because he's not doing it in a game. So my frustration is he is working on this, and then he's not doing it in the game. That's the frustrating part. So let's say this is where I have a problem with he only cares about Call of Duty. If you're a family man and you work, you go to the gym, you go to your workout sessions, you work on your game, and then you go home and you feed your daughter, and you watch TV, and you hang out with your wife, and you just play some board games. But you did the same thing that Ben Simmons did, and instead at home, you hang out with your daughter instead of playing Call of Duty. Does the narrative change because you're playing video games compared to playing with your daughter? That's where I think that's so silly. What does Joel Embiid do? He goes to the gym, he works out, he does what he has to, he goes to practice, and then he hangs out with his daughter, and he hangs out with his child. That's what he does. I think he has a daughter. If it's a son, I apologize. I think it's a daughter, but regardless, goes in and then he hangs out with his child. Ben Simmons goes home after doing the same thing, and then he plays Call of Duty. It doesn't matter. You still put in the same work. Doesn't matter what you do at home. You're allowed to have a passion outside of your job. Quite frankly, I prefer for you to have that. I prefer you to have something that distracts you from the. I don't want you to be just one thing. I do other things other than sports talk. I have other passions other than sports talk. I enjoy video games. It doesn't take away from my effort level here and my skill level there. I want you to have something else that you care about other than just basketball. So to think that you're not allowed to like video games, that's so silly. You're not allowed to like video games because you're struggling on the court. You're allowed to. Get out of here. Yeah, look, you're right. Joel plays video games. So one guy is extremely passionate about FIFA. The other guy is extremely passionate about Call of Duty. They both probably play at the same amount of time, yet one guy's doing well on the court, the other guy's not doing well on the court. One guy isn't allowed to play video games. The other guy is allowed to play video games. Come on. Right? Yeah, it's crazy. That's just a silly narrative. He plays it too much. You don't know how much he plays it. Come on. And it doesn't matter. If you're going to the gym and you're doing what you're supposed to do for the proper amount of time, it doesn't matter how much he's playing it. If he's going to the gym and he's practicing and he's doing what he needs to do, it doesn't matter if he plays for 2 hours or 4 hours. It doesn't matter. He's out. So what's the difference to you if he's watching TV or if he's playing video games? If he's hanging out on the couch with a couple of his buddies or he's playing video games? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I think it's just incredible that it can. But I'm not surprised either. I'm not surprised either that that's the reaction. All right, so this is where we are in today, just to kind of set the scene, if you will. 6 o'clock tonight, I will be going live for Leading Off with Brodes, and I think I have the cut right here. Here we go. So we got the Philadelphia Phillies on tonight at 7. Therefore, 6 o'clock, we will have we will have Leading Off with Brodes, where we will lead you into Philadelphia Phillies baseball. So I'm really looking forward to it. I just want to make sure it is. I know that there's a 7:30 game over the weekend, but I'm pretty positive it's 7, just to clarify 100%. It's a 7:05. So I'll go live at 6. I will go live at 6. We will do Leading Off with Brodes. I will lead you in. We'll have the batter's box. We'll have some topics to discuss. We'll have some predetermined topics. And then we will also let the comment section flood, ask some questions as well. But I'm really looking forward to it. Make sure you are there. 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, leading you into Phillies baseball, Leading Off with Brodes. Also, on my Twitter, at Brodes81, if you did not get an opportunity yet to enter to win a Bryce Harper giveaway, at the top of my profile, there is a pinned tweet. There are 339 people entered to win to this point. All you have to do is retweet that tweet and follow me on Twitter. The winner will be selected on Wednesday. So make sure you get yourself entered to win that. So, you just have to do that. Before we head out of here, $10 donation coming in from Pags. Cheers to sucking at golf. Oh, man, I'd like to think I don't suck at golf, but I suck at golf. Who am I kidding? Thank you so much, Pags. We'll have to hit the links for sure together. $10 donation. Thank you so much, man. I can't stress it enough, all the support that you have shown me. Definitely. So I hope everyone had a fantastic Easter. Thank you all so much, and I will see you tonight, 6 o'clock. Be there. 6 o'clock, live, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Leading Off with Brodes, getting yourself into Philadelphia Phillies baseball against deGrom and the Mets. There's going to be so much to talk about. I'm excited to see you there. Thank you all so much, and I'll catch you later.